A new report says the administration of US President Joe Biden has authorized the transfer of billions of dollars in bombs and fighter jets to Israel in recent days amid the regime's genocidal war against the Palestinians in Gaza. Pentagon and State Department officials said the new arms packages include more than 1,800 bombs, the Washington Post reported. According to the report, these are 2,000-pound devices that can demolish entire city blocks and are rarely used in populated areas. Israel, however, has used them extensively in Gaza. Some Democrats, including allies of President Biden, say the US government has a responsibility to withhold weapons in the absence of an Israeli commitment to limit civilian casualties during a planned operation in Rafah and ease restrictions on humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip, which is on the brink of famine. The Biden administration needs to use their leverage effectively, and in my view, they should receive these basic commitments before greenlighting more bombs for Gaza, Senator Chris Van Hollen, DMD, said in an interview. We need to back up what we say with what we do. Last week, the State Department also authorized the transfer of 25 F-35 fighter jets and engines to Israel. Earlier reports said the US had quietly made more than 100 weapon sales to Israel since the onslaught on Gaza began on October 7th. The arms supplies go against the US call for a ceasefire in Gaza. Israel began hostilities in Gaza on October 7th after the Palestinian resistance movement. Hamas carried out Operation Al-Aqsa Storm against the usurping entity in retaliation for the regime's intensified atrocities against the Palestinian people. The regime has also cut off fuel, electricity, food, and water to the more than 2 million Palestinians living there. Israel has killed more than 32,500 Palestinians and injured nearly 75,000 others in Gaza since the October day. A majority of Americans now disapprove of Israel's genocidal war in the Gaza Strip as the regime has started to lose support from its great benefactor, the United States. A new poll has found. US-based pollster Gallup says its new survey shows support for Israel's atrocities in Gaza dropped from 50% in November to 36% in March. 55% of Americans are now against the war, Gallup found. It said all three major party groups in the US have become less supportive of Israel's war than they were in November. Support for the regime's hostilities in Gaza decreased by 18% among the Democrats, while approval among the Republicans has dropped 7%. The poll shows. On March 25th, the US abstained from a UN Security Council vote on a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza during the month of Ramadan. Washington's abstention allowed such measures to pass for the first time since Israel started its war on Gaza nearly 6 months ago. The administration of President Joe Biden had repeatedly blocked similar bids for ceasefire with its veto power. Some Democrats believe the president has been too closely aligned with Tel Aviv by not taking stronger action to promote a ceasefire so far.